On August 11, 1936, Romanian boxer Nicolae Berechet fought Estonian fighter Ewald Seeberg at the Berlin Olympics. The 21-year-old lost his bout but left the ring seemingly healthy. 3 days later, he was dead. The official cause was sepsis from an infected carbuncle, a skin abscess. German authorities quickly buried him in Berlin and declined Romanian requests to repatriate his body. But Romanian sources claimed an autopsy revealed traces of poisoning and that German officials suppressed further investigation. Whether he died from undiagnosed boxing injuries, infection, or something more sinister in the politically charged atmosphere of Nazi Germany remains a mystery. What's certain is that a healthy young athlete entered the Olympic ring and was dead within days, becoming one of the games' earliest and most controversial fatalities. On January 21, 1964, British luger Kazimierz Kay-Skrzypecki was training at Innsbruck just over a week before the Winter Olympics. The 58-year-old had lived an extraordinary life. Born in Poland, he'd been an RAF pilot before discovering luge late in life. Most athletes retired decades before 58, but Kay-Skrzypecki was fearless. Luge was making its Olympic debut in 1964, a controversial addition many thought too dangerous. Athletes lie on their backs on a small sled, racing down icy tracks at over 80 miles per hour with minimal protection. The Innsbruck course at Eagles was particularly treacherous. During his training run, Kay-Skrzypecki lost control at high speed. The crash left him with a fractured skull and pelvis. He was rushed to hospital but died the next day during emergency surgery, January 22, 1964. His death vindicated critics who'd warned against including luge. The track became known as the Course of Fear. 5 days later, Australian skier Ross Milne would also die during training, making Innsbruck 1964 the deadliest Winter Olympics to that point. Kay-Skrzypecki's tragedy led to improved safety barriers and medical protocols, changes that came too late for the brave RAF pilot who'd dared to pursue Olympic glory. February 25, 1988, Mount Allen. Dr. Jörg Oberhammer, the 47-year-old physician for the Austrian ski team, was taking a casual recreational ski run during a break in the men's giant slalom. He was a renowned knee surgeon who just watched one of his patients, Hubert Strolz, win silver that morning. Also on the mountain was Brian Nock, a 55-year-old CTV technician, skiing recreationally. Their paths intersected at high speed near a massive snow grooming machine. The collision was sudden. Nock was thrown to the side while Dr. Oberhammer was knocked directly into the path of the grooming vehicle. The operator, with no way of knowing what had happened, rolled over Dr. Oberhammer. The steel tracks crushed him instantly with injuries so severe his face was unrecognizable. Swiss skiers watching from the chairlift witnessed the horror. One collapsed at the start line, unable to compete. It took 7 hours to confirm the victim's identity through his clothing and ski brand. The RCMP ruled it a complete accident. 2 skiers colliding, a momentary loss of balance, and a machine in the worst possible place. The Austrian team wore black armbands for the remainder of the games. Dr. Oberhammer, beloved by his athletes and respected worldwide, left behind 4 children. It was a grim reminder that even routine activities at the Olympics can turn deadly. September 5, 1972, 4:30 a.m. 8 men in tracksuits scaled the fence at Munich's Olympic Village. They looked like athletes returning from a night out, but hidden in their bags were Kalashnikov rifles and grenades. They were members of Black September, a Palestinian militant group about to carry out the deadliest terrorist attack in Olympic history. They entered 31 Connollystrasse, the Israeli team's building. Wrestling referee Josef Gutfreund heard scratching at the door and threw his weight against it, screaming to alert others. 2 athletes escaped through windows. 8 hid and were never found, but the terrorists took control. Wrestling coach Moshe Weinberg fought back and was shot. Weightlifter Josef Romano grabbed a weapon and fought desperately before being gunned down. By sunrise, 2 Israelis were dead and 9 were hostages. The terrorists demanded the release of 234 Palestinian prisoners. Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir refused to negotiate. West Germany offered unlimited money. The terrorists refused. The games were suspended. After 12 hours of negotiations, German authorities agreed to transport everyone to Fürstenfeldbruck Air Base, supposedly for a flight to Cairo. It was a trap. Police snipers would ambush the terrorists. But the plan was catastrophically flawed. Regular police officers with no sniper training, improper positioning, and assault rifles without scopes were expected to execute a precision nighttime operation. At 10:30 p.m., 2 helicopters landed at the airbase with terrorists and hostages. The terrorists immediately realized the waiting plane was empty. This was an ambush. German police opened fire but only killed 3 terrorists. A chaotic 2-hour gun battle erupted. As the situation collapsed, the terrorists made their final move. One threw a grenade into a helicopter, killing 4 hostages instantly. Another fired a machine gun into the second helicopter, murdering the remaining killing 5. All 9 hostages died, along with a German police officer and 5 more terrorists. 11 Israeli athletes and coaches were dead. Moshe Weinberg, Yosef Romano, Zeev Friedman, David Berger, Yakov Springer, Eliezer Halfin, Yosef Gutfreund, Kehat Shor, Mark Slavin, Andrei Spitzer, and Amitsur Shapira. The games resumed after a memorial service. Less than 2 months later, the 3 surviving terrorists were freed after Black September sympathizers hijacked a Lufthansa flight. In response, Israel launched Operation Wrath of God, a secret Mossad campaign to assassinate those responsible, spanning years and continents. Munich fundamentally changed the Olympics. Security was completely overhauled. Germany created Counterterrorism Unit GSG-9 in direct response. The IOC refused to hold a moment of silence for victims for over 4 decades, citing concerns about politicizing the games. Finally, in 2021 at Tokyo, a moment of silence was observed for the first time. The Munich Massacre remains the deadliest terrorist attack in Olympic history, a permanent reminder that even spaces meant for peace are vulnerable to violence. From mysterious deaths to training accidents to terrorism, these tragedies represent the darkest chapters in Olympic history. They remind us that the Olympics exist in the real world, where accidents happen and evil can strike even in spaces meant for peace. These incidents led to crucial changes: improved medical protocols, better safety equipment, enhanced security, and stricter oversight. The athletes didn't die in vain. Their tragedies forced the Olympic movement to evolve. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment with which Olympic story you'd like to hear next. Thanks for watching.